went to Shanghai, China. This summer I did the terms 1 and 2 of the USAC program. And that's just me at the Bund, a very famous place. I have subtitled, A Special Place to be Foreign, because when you go to China you realize that Chinese people really love foreigners, which is all of us, so very fun experience there. I have a lot of photos, and so unfortunately I could not put all 30,000 in one presentation, but if there is any point in this presentation that you thought, this is cool, and you'd like to know more, feel free to just let me know at a later time and I can show you whatever the heck you want to see. Anyway, so to China, for those of you who don't know where Shanghai is, it is located here in relation to Reno. So here's Reno, here's Shanghai. It was not a one-way trip in that you go Reno to Shanghai. It was Reno to Vegas, Vegas to LA, LA to Hong Kong, Hong Kong to Shanghai. But that's okay. Anywho, in Hong Kong is where I ran into the other USAC students. This is a photo from Shanghai when we were all together, but that guy, Gunnar, I met him at the USAC orientation before we even left for China. So, spotted him in the Hong Kong airport, that's my guy, one over there, and that's how I got grouped up with my USAC people. There's a photo I took during the bus ride when we just arrived in Shanghai and we're driving, and I'm like, this place is Shanghai. That was the first thing I felt. So anywho, Shanghai University, that is where I studied for this summer during the term 1 and 2, so that was basically from mid-May up until the end of July. And so there's your generic photo of us at a famous place. Those are all the students from term 2. That's called the Bund famous place. This is a photo of us just looking at the student store. I picked this one because the university itself is like in a forest. If you're in the Midwest kind of stuff and it's a very humid climate, I loved it, but not for everybody. This is a photo from Tai Chi class. That's my instructor. That's just me. Actually, I'm wearing the same pants right now, Tai Chi pants. Anywho, fun times. Tai Chi is a really cool course. And that is just an example of the rain, because Shanghai is a place that rains a lot. So it's a fun place. We enjoyed it very much. Alrighty, here's some other photos from the university. What I actually did is I audited the Tai Chi course and I audited the cuisine course because I wanted to learn everything, but I couldn't take as many credits. So you do what you can. Anywho, cuisine, so I learned how to cook. This is an example of bike riding, because in China they have share rides where basically you can take your phone, just scan a QR code on a bike, and you can pay like 10 cents. You can have a bike for basically on your own. So just riding around the city, super fun. That's a photo of us at a business trip, because Shanghai is, if you don't know, the business capital of China and a major business center in the world. So, of course you do business courses in Shanghai. And that's an example of us with some MBAs, because what's nice about the Shanghai University program is it also pairs you up with MBA students, so some from China, some from other countries, like I met people from Pakistan, I met people from even Colombia, so very international program, even in China. Anywho, learning Chinese is very important if you go to China. So there's an example of me with Heinrich. She is the instructor for intermediate Chinese. That's this cool activity we did on the board. Really cool, fun stuff. That is an example of Wanglaoshi. What's really cool about her is I met her when I was a freshman here at the university. She visited Li Lao's class. She's a Chinese instructor at this university. Met her as a freshman and then showed up here like, I know you! So that was crazy. Anywho, that's an example of a graduate student friend I met. He helped me a lot with my work. And actually, I didn't plan for this, but I had with me the notebook I use when I have Chinese classes. So this is literally the notebook I got in China, like did my assignments on. So fun stuff. If you want to meet the guy who helped me get through that class, that's the work. And that is an example of the phones, because when you get to China, if you have an Android, tough luck, China doesn't like Google very much. But you can get a new phone, so I just got a new phone, 75 bucks, and it lasts me the whole summer, and I have it with me because I use it a lot. That's Sonic. How about that? Welcome to China, everybody. Anywho, so that was really fun, learning Chinese. But what's even more fun, teaching English, because it turns out the only requirement is knowing English and knowing it as your first language. So look how cute they are. Those are my students. Anyway, that's an example of our group right there. That was just a week-long program, paid too, paid over the equivalent of 10 USD an hour, so that was awesome. And that was one of my coworkers. He's from Scotland, so just working with a guy with a Scottish accent, that was great. Anywho, so that was super fun and enriching. I taught them that cup song with even the motions and the rhythm and everything. So fun. And here's some favorite memories. Of course, I couldn't include all of them. This is when I met my family for the first time in Beijing. I have relatives all across China that I didn't even know I had, but that was fun. I celebrated my 20th birthday a week ahead with those relatives. And then I went back to the university and we had language partners. So we got to meet other Chinese students who were interested in hanging out with us foreigner people. And I basically told them, I don't know much about Shanghai, tell me what we should do for my birthday. And they just planned out this really elaborate thing. We went to a hot pot place. There were 30 of us there, which is the biggest birthday I've ever had. And that was super fun. And then that is the farewell dinner for all of us USAC students. So of course we had people from South Africa, we had people from Europe, we had people from America. All of us there just saying hi to each other. So that was fun. And then traveling. So to oversimplify things, this is where I was. I was in this part of China. And then for the USAC program, every weekend we go on different tours. So we went to areas around this part of China for the different weekly tours. The Beijing trip was just a week between term 1 and term 2, so we went up to Beijing. And then when I was done with the USAC program at the end of July, I still had about 30 days left on my visa, and school hadn't started yet. So I went to this part of China. This is where I met a lot of the different relatives in this area, did some traveling down there. We also went to Guangzhou. If you don't know what Guangzhou is, it's the modern name of a place called Canton, so that's what it is. Anywho, did lots of different traveling, a zillion different photos. This is just a photo from Nanjing that I really liked, because mausoleums are awesome. Anyway, lots of cool stuff you can do with traveling. So why go to China? Ooh, it looks so mysterious on the Great Wall. Anyway, the two biggest things that I thought were ridiculous when I got back, but looking back thought were really cool, is that the food is fantastic. Oh my goodness. One thing that I didn't know before I went to China is that the kind of Chinese food you get in America is basically one kind of Chinese food, Cantonese food. But when I went to China, I learned there's 8 different kinds of Chinese food. So just trying different kinds of food was fantastic. There's just a picture of hot pot that was fun. Shopping is also really big in Shanghai, and gifting in general is a huge part of Chinese culture. So if you're interested in getting stuff like fake beads that actually work really well and you can get them for cheap, you can literally just get that in Shanghai. So that's crazy. I just have them with me, so that's why I just thought, oh, I'll bring that. Anywho, the scarves are also really fun. Clothes are really fun. Got this in Beijing. And so if you like shopping, turns out because you're in an international business city, it's not hard to find any brand you've ever imagined. Here. So that's really cool. And then back to this, if there's a bunch of crazy photos here that you're like, I gotta know about this, you're welcome to ask. Lastly, I just want to leave you with some contact info if you want to get more information. WeChat is a social media app for China, and I posted a ridiculous amount of photos and stories on WeChat. So basically every one of those little red dots with the city I went to, I posted at least 9 different photos from that place. And usually more if I was in that place multiple days, so lots of different photos just on WeChat alone. There's my email if you want to get more touch with me there. But in next month, so one of the students that we met at Shanghai University, she's the president of their international team. So she would work with us, she'd pair us up with language partners, and I will actually be doing an international video call with her for Nevada Advertising. So if you'd like to talk to a student who works with people who study abroad, her name is Shirley, she's right there, and we'll be doing a video call with her on Wednesday, November 15th at 4 p.m. in RSJ 105. So that's also an option. In general though, if you want to meet anyone from China, I can just connect you to them because that's kind of part of Chinese culture. We love to connect people with people. And that's the bulk of my presentation. Here's just a photo from Beijing if you're into that. That's just those are the people from Chengdu and Shanghai. We meet up with each other to do that kind of trip. Here's just a photo of me in Nanjing, so I thought it's kind of cool. I'm looking at this whole thing. And so yeah, any of these photos or anything else you want to know, you're welcome to ask. Does anyone need me to go back to the last slide? If you do, just let me know.